political analyst Scott Hughes is here. Okay, I don't want to let this Taliaferro Savage maybe a deal for one to back out and support the other thing go. If what you're telling me is that Ollie's pretty much a cinch, that Miss Ollie is pretty much a cinch to make the runoff, to make the...
She has the best odds right now. We'll say it like that.
And what you're telling me is that the Republicans on the Republican side, Taliaferro Savage, that their only chance of making the runoff is, let me rephrase, if they both stay in, they're shooting off their own toes.
Maybe. If they both stay in, they are rolling the dice that one of the two can get to 20%.
Will be so overwhelmingly dominant of the other, and I've seen no evidence to think that will be the case. So literally, if the Republicans want a mayor, their only chance, correct me if I'm misunderstanding what you said, if the Republicans want a mayor, their only chance is for one of those two, Taliaferro, Savage, to hit the highway.
I wouldn't say their only chance. Their best chance would be. It's very
best chance by a factor of, I would think, 10.
It's still, that's still not their only chance. But I don't want to split numbers with you. But yes, I think they have a better chance if one drops out. The problem though now is structurally, I'm not sure one can drop out. At this point, the ballots are done.
I was going to ask you that.
At this point, the names are on the ballot. There's already candidates in other races that dropped out, and their name's still going to be on the ballot. Now, one can withdraw and announce it, and they can try to push the other candidate, and that may help them. But there is still a great chance, because if you look at the 40% number that may go vote, the ceiling that'll turn out, of that, it's going to probably be in a town that, like Shreveport, it's going to probably be a higher majority of Republicans, perhaps. Now, the key is going to be who's motivated. One of the concerns for candidates, I don't know if it's a concern for the system, but the concerns for candidates is there seems to be no real political money this time. We've had mayor races. You go back to Glover versus Jerry Jones a couple years ago, there was $1 million raised by one candidate. You know, I'm not sure we have a single candidate yet that may have raised $200,000 in the mayor's race. That may be a target number they're shooting for. So none of the candidates have the money to go move the needle right now.
You think they're trying? I mean, are they out there beating the bushes for cash right now?
I think they're trying. Number one, you've got an economy that's not as strong as it was years ago. Number two, you've got no one is out there. With an 8-person field, it's hard to decide who am I going to put my money on. Is my money safe? And the real problem, I think, for the money crowd is 4 years ago, you had a very easy bet. 4 years ago, you had Mayor Tyler, you had Victoria Provenza, and you had Representative Patrick Williams. And so for anyone with political sense, you look at that field and you said, easy money early on Ollie. And everyone bet on Ollie, and she cruised to victory. Well, now if you look at the race, even if you're not happy with Ollie, she's the horse you've already bet on. She's the horse you've ridden for 4 years. Why are you moving away from her right now? And that's what you're really seeing. People may not be happy, but the money check writing people aren't going somewhere else yet.
Let me ask you this. I was out in District D doing a forum for the candidates for city council, and I was talking to residents out there, Scott, and I think all of us talking bozos may be mistaken some things about we're bloviators about this town, because the people in District D, when you talk about them about what do they care about, I just want my trash picked up. I just want my tree limbs picked up. They weren't worried about crime or jobs. They're all employed. They're doing fine. They just want their dang trash picked up, and they feel like okay under the current administration. Are we missing the point for some neighborhoods and how they're going to vote?
No, and that's my point on only 40% are going to go vote. 60% won't. Of those that go vote, a lot don't even know who's on the ballot yet. And you're talking about basic services. In government, we call that delivery of basic services. Is the water coming on? Is the trash being picked up? Are my streets generally drivable? And I think that they're either happy or they're not upset enough that it's going to make them do something else. And then back to the field. They look at these other 7 candidates in the mayor's race. They haven't seen that person that's rising to the top yet. Now, when we get to the second round and it gets head-to-head, then maybe some people will stop and focus and they'll say, how happy am I? But right now, I think Miss Tyler is probably the safe bet for a lot of people, and that's why and you have to draw the whole town. If you've not gotten in Shreveport and gotten on the inner loop, and go drive Shreveport one day. It will take you well over an hour to loop all the way around this town. It is an extremely large town, and I've described Shreveport before in some talks as more like New York. It's a town of boroughs, and we all live in our borough, whether it's Southwest East Shreveport, Southwest Shreveport, North Shreveport, Highland, Inner City, and we look at our borough and we think that's the rest of this town, and it's fundamentally not. They're completely different parts of town.